let's have a demonstration so that you can understand the flow between opportunities, quotes, orders, and invoices. So the easiest way to understand how opportunities, quotes, orders, and invoices work together is to demonstrate it from within an account. So we'll go into the companies, which is the account record that we renamed. And we'll open up Advanced Components. Now we'll go down in Advanced Components and click on the Opportunities tab. First thing I want to do is go ahead and create a new opportunity. Now, some of the most advanced functionality of a CRM opportunity has to do with the integration with price and products. So first of all, we'll put in sample, and we'll come down and we'll go ahead and select a price list. Because if we don't select that, we won't be able to do any pricing. And if you'll notice at the top, there's a number of buttons that are not common. Close is won, close is lost, recalculate opportunity, and so on. So I'm going to add a new opportunity product, which will now take me out into my database where I can start selecting from the different types of products that are out there. In this particular case, we're just going to add a single item. And we're going to put in quantity 100. And I'm going to do a save. And if you'll notice, the first thing that happened within this is that it's done a calculation and applied the pricing, which is automatically retrieved from the pricing structure to the quantity and come out with an extended price. If I save and close this item, it is now part of this opportunity. If I go click on the Recalculate tab, it goes out and runs a total of all the line items associated with the opportunity and summarizes it within the opportunity. This is key functionality. If I had just saved this record, the recalculation would have happened as well, but I wanted to hit recalculate so that you could see it actually happening. So at this point, the next thing that one would do is to consider creating a quote to send to the customer, which I can do easily by clicking on the Quote tab. Having done that, I click on Quotes and Add New Quote, and this is extended functionality which goes and not only creates a new quote, which has a header which matches all the information that came from the opportunity, but it also replicated the products that were in our opportunity into the quote as well to give us a good starting point and reduce the amount of keying that's required. So I can go ahead and edit my quote, and I can add new products to it if I want to, and have different revisions of the quote going out, which we'll talk about in a second. This is supported by the revisions. So we'll add another 15 sheets and save and close. And at this point, we now have 115 sheets and a quote that we want to go ahead and send to a customer. Well, one of the things that CRM does as far as quotes is concerned is it allows us to mark a quote as ready to send to the customer. And we do that by activating the quote. Activating the quote causes it to still be available for us to work on. However, it locks the quote so that no changes can be made. And this is to ensure that when we print a quote for a customer using this button here, that our history will not be able to be changed and alter from what the quote was that we got from them. So if we were to go ahead and generate a quote, which I won't do for time savings here, and send it off to the customer, and they came back to me, they could come back and they could choose a few choices. They could choose to accept our quote, which would mean I'd be able to automatically create an order from the quote that would match exactly what I sent. They might also ask that I revise the quote, which I'm going to do now. So in this case, we got a call back, and they said, look, we like the quote, but we need a little bit more of a discount. And so I can go in and put in a quote discount of $1,000 to sweeten the deal. And I can activate this quote, and then I could send that quote off for the customer. Now, real quickly, we'll go back to the opportunity and see how this is representing itself within the opportunity. So I'm going to move this window out of the way so you can see the opportunity, which is still sitting underneath. And if we go down to quotes, we will see that there are two quotes. One that was closed and one that appears to be in draft state, but if we refresh, has actually been activated. And you can see the pricing difference. Now, the powerful part of this, if we go back to the quote, is that the quote has a number associated with it. So when a customer accepts a quote, they can give you the identifier of that quote and you know exactly what deal you just closed. So in this particular case, the customers come back to me and said, okay, I think that's a reasonable deal. I'd like to go ahead and create an order from that. So I can come up here and click on this button to create an order from the quote. This will automatically flag the quote as won. It will also give me the opportunity to close the opportunity and calculate the revenue from the opportunity, or let me choose to not update the opportunity. In this case, I'm going to take the standard flow and let it update the opportunity and close it and mark the quote as won and create the invoice, all in one fell swoop. This is definitely non-customizable support that has been added. So now we're in our order. And I can continue to modify the order, but you'll notice that all the information came from the quote, including the products that we accepted on the quote, including the discounts that were in place. Everything was there, and we only had to do it with a few clicks. And now we have an order. We can go ahead and mark it to be fulfilled, and we also can update pricing, and finally we can convert this to an invoice. Again, we can create this manually if all the invoicing is being done from within CRM, but if there was an integration, we would probably hide this step from the end user, knowing that our invoices would automatically be created as part of the integration to the billing system. In this case, we don't have an integration, so I'll go ahead and create the invoice. And now I have the final piece in the puzzle. And this has gone through the entire gamut from opportunity to quote to order and invoicing. And because it carries the data that it needs to behind it, it supports much of the sales reporting that's key in CRM. Part of what we didn't look at in the process of opportunities, quotes, orders, and invoices was the concept of the product catalog. And there's a number of entities that are involved, but the major functions include providing complex pricing structure, including multiple price lists, unit of measure conversions, and quantity discounting. It's used for storing a complete CRM pricing structure for products, the price list and price list items, unit groups and units for unit of measure conversions, discount lists and discounts. These are organizationally owned entities, which means that the complete set of data is accessible to all users in the organization if they can see any. These are key components in the entire order processing structure and are also key in an integration. Typically, you would want to update your entire product catalog and pricing structure from your order processing system to make sure that it is absolutely correct at all times. The marketing list entity. Marketing lists create groups for marketing purposes. A marketing list can be set up to contain either accounts, or contacts, or leads. They're used with campaigns and quick campaigns. They're mandatory for using with campaigns, but they're optional for quick campaigns. Campaign and quick campaign entities. These are designed to track information about marketing activities and used to track the marketing effort, budget, and results, although the budget is not used by quick campaigns. There are already linked to activities distributed, the campaign responses, marketing lists, campaign activities, products, price lists, and sales literature. The campaign response entity may be the most misunderstood entity in CRM. It certainly seems to be the least used in many circumstances. It's designed to contain responses related to a campaign so that we can track how many responses a marketing campaign receives. From an enhanced functionality standpoint, it is the only entity with a customer relationship to account and contact as well as lead. It's used to link the marketing reports to the entire sales process of opportunities, quotes, orders, and invoices, and thus be able to provide us information about how much total revenue was generated by a particular marketing campaign. Another exciting feature is that it can be converted automatically to a new or an existing lead and convert that lead to the next phase as well. The opportunity, quote, or orders are also supported for conversion so that we can take a campaign response and convert it directly to an order should that be necessary. It's an ideal entry point for unqualified website inquiries, trade show respondents, and more. And you should consider using this in lieu of a lead when importing responses to marketing. It will help you reduce the duplicates between leads and accounts and contacts. Here's an example of the form. Notice a couple of interesting things. At the very top, we're tying it to a parent campaign, but we also can enter a promotion code to qualify within our campaigns. We also have a response code to show whether they're interested or ask for unsubscribing. We can type in some information about it, but we can link it to a customer. And this is the only place, as I said before, that the customer could be a lead, an account, or a contact. So this is really key from a marketing perspective. It's a very, very versatile tool for measuring marketing. Also, if we're importing campaign responses, we have the ability to go ahead and bring in all the company and individual address information and store it in the campaign response until we've determined whether or not it relates to an existing account, contact, or lead in the system, or that we have to create a new one. It's also the only activity that can be related to another activity. The case entity in CRM contains information related to customer issues. It's used for storing details about customer service incidences for customers, vendors, partners, etc. The enhanced functionality provided includes using the customer relationship to associate with either the account or contact. It's also pre-linked to other entities and has some additional functionality there. It's linked optionally to contracts and contract line items and knowledge base articles. And when closed out, it automatically will total the activities associated with a case to determine the total amount of time spent. The contract and contract line item entities support the case and basically contain customer service agreement information and are used for managing service contracts. The enhanced functionality includes using the customer relationship to be able to tie it to accounts or contacts, and it's pre-linked to other entities, including customers, cases, and so on. It supports multiple methods of providing service based upon buying a quantity of incidents, the amount of time spent, or just an annual contract. It also supports revision tracking, so we can take a contract and we can revise it and use it to do a renewal. And it supports a start and expiration date, which the system checks to determine whether it's valid at any given point in time. CRM 2011 resources. As always, the CRM SDK. Good books to consider are Working with Microsoft Dynamics, CRM 2011 from Microsoft Press, or the Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011 Administration Bible, published by Wiley. Under blogs and forums, consider the Microsoft CRM Team blog and the Microsoft CRM forums. I hope you found this segment helpful. Have a wonderful day.